What if every problem you face right now is actually the solution? Nearly 2,000 years ago, a Roman emperor fighting plague, war, and betrayal sat down by candlelight and wrote a single idea in his private journal. An idea so powerful that generals, presidents, and prisoners of war have used it to survive the unthinkable. That idea: the obstacle is not in your way. The obstacle is the way. And once you understand what that truly means, you will never see your problems the same way again. To understand this, you need to know who Marcus Aurelius actually was, not the sanitized statue version, the real man. In 161 AD, Marcus became emperor of Rome, and almost immediately everything went wrong. The Parthian Empire invaded from the east. Germanic tribes attacked from the north. His co-emperor Lucius Verus was unreliable. His most trusted general Avidius Cassius would eventually stage a revolt against him. Marcus spent the last decade of his life away from Rome, sleeping in military tents on the frozen Danube frontier. He was sick. He was exhausted. He watched thousands of his soldiers die from disease and combat. And in the middle of all of this, in a tent in the cold, surrounded by death, he wrote the Meditations, not for publication. Not for fame, for himself, as a way to keep going when every rational reason to quit was staring him in the face. In Book 5 of the Meditations, Marcus writes something extraordinary. He says, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Read that again slowly. The thing blocking you is not separate from the path forward. It is the path forward. This isn't positive thinking. This isn't some ancient version of good vibes only. Marcus wasn't telling himself everything happens for a reason. He was saying something much more practical, much more useful. When you hit a wall, you have two choices. You can stand there and curse the wall, or you can use the wall itself. Climb it, go around it, dig under it, or build something with the bricks. The obstacle doesn't just sit in the way. It reshapes the way. It forces you into becoming someone more resourceful, more creative, more resilient than you were before. And that transformation, that's the entire point. Now Marcus broke this down into 3 disciplines, 3 lenses through which you can turn any obstacle into an advantage. The first is perception. How you see the problem determines whether it controls you or you control it. Think about this. 2 people get laid off from the same job on the same day. One spirals into panic, shame, and despair. The other takes a breath and thinks, "I hated that job anyway. Now I have no choice but to build something better." Same event, completely different experience. The difference is perception. Marcus trained himself to strip away the emotional story and see events for what they actually are. Not catastrophes, not punishments, not proof that the universe is out to get you, just events, things that happened, the meaning you attach to them. That's optional, and that optional meaning is where all your suffering lies. When you remove the judgment, you see the obstacle clearly, and a clear obstacle is one you can work with. The second discipline is action, not just any action. Disciplined, deliberate, persistent action. Most people, when they face resistance, do one of 2 things. They freeze, or they thrash wildly, throwing energy in every direction and accomplishing nothing. The Stoics did neither. They worked with the resistance the way a blacksmith works with iron. You don't fight the metal, you heat it, you shape it. You use its own properties to create something stronger. When Marcus faced the Germanic tribes, he didn't win through brute force. He adapted. He changed tactics. He studied the terrain. He turned the enemy's aggression into their own undoing by refusing to meet chaos with chaos. He met it with discipline. And that discipline, applied consistently over years, is what held the empire together. In your own life, this means something specific. When the project falls apart, don't complain about the project. Identify the smallest possible next step and take it. When the relationship gets difficult, don't run or explode. Choose one honest conversation. When your health fails, don't surrender. Find one thing you can do today. Action in the face of resistance is where character is built. Not in easy times, never in easy times. The third discipline is will, and this is the hardest one. Sometimes the obstacle genuinely cannot be overcome. The diagnosis is terminal. The loss is permanent. The situation is truly, completely beyond your control. What then? Marcus would say this is where real strength begins, not in conquering the world, but in accepting the parts of it you cannot change and choosing how you carry that weight. Will is the inner fortress. It is the part of you that says, I cannot control what happens to me, but I will absolutely control who I become because of it. It is the refusal to let circumstance dictate your character. The plague took millions. Marcus couldn't stop it. But he could choose to keep showing up for his soldiers. He could choose to keep writing, keep thinking, keep leading. He could choose not to become bitter, cruel, or hopeless, even when bitterness, cruelty, and hopelessness were the rational responses. That choice to maintain your character when the world gives you every excuse to abandon it, that is the will. And it is the most powerful thing a human being can exercise. So what does this look like in your life? Right now. Today. Maybe your obstacle is a job you hate but can't leave yet. The Stoic response: use it. Develop patience. Build skills, save money. Let the frustration fuel your exit plan instead of just your resentment. Maybe your obstacle is a broken relationship. The Stoic response: grow from it. Learn what you tolerated that you shouldn't have. Become someone who attracts better, not just someone who hopes for better. Maybe your obstacle is your own mind. The anxiety, the self-doubt, the voice that says you're not enough. The Stoic response: good. That voice is your training partner. Every time you act despite it, you get stronger. Every time you choose courage over comfort, the voice gets quieter. Maybe your obstacle is grief, the loss of someone you loved, the end of something that mattered. The Stoic response: let the pain teach you. Let it show you what you truly valued. Let it make you more present with the people still in your life, because Marcus would remind you that they won't be here forever either. Marcus didn't write the Meditations because his life was easy. He wrote them because his life was impossibly hard. And the philosophy he used to endure it is available to you right now, for free in those same pages. Here's your challenge. Tonight, before you go to sleep, take out a piece of paper. Write down the one obstacle that's consuming most of your mental energy right now. The thing that keeps you up. The thing you keep rehearsing in your mind. Below it, write this question: how is this trying to help me? Don't force an answer. Just sit with the question for 5 minutes. Let it work on you. You might be surprised what comes up. Because somewhere inside that obstacle, inside that pain, that frustration, that fear, is the seed of who you're supposed to become next. Marcus Aurelius figured this out in a war tent, surrounded by plague and death. You can figure it out at your kitchen table. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. If this changed how you think about the obstacles in your life, subscribe for more ancient wisdom that still works today. Drop a comment telling me which part hit hardest. I read every single one.